All right, buckle up, everyone, because tonight we're diving headfirst into some NBA action that, well, let's just say it had me on the edge of my seat.
Edge of your seat. That's putting it mildly, I think.
Okay, you got me. I might have shouted at the TV a couple times.
I won't judge. We've all been there.
We're talking games with finishes so close you could taste them, upsets that had everyone scratching their heads, and individual player moments that, well, they were just straight up magic, gotta be honest.
And the best part, we're not just going to rehash the highlights. We're going deep.
Deeper than a deep dish pizza.
Exactly. We're going to break down the strategy, the X's and O's, the stuff you don't always catch just from watching the game.
Think of this as like, those post-game analyst shows, but way more in-depth, way more fun.
A way less yelling, hopefully.
Hey, I make no promises.
Fair enough. So, ready to get this party started.
Oh, I am so ready. First up, we're going to talk about the Phoenix Suns and the Utah Jazz. Now, the Suns won 135-127 in overtime.
Not exactly a blowout, but a win's a win, right?
Yeah, but hold on. That score doesn't even begin to tell the whole story. This game, it was a wild ride, trust me.
Oh, I believe you. The energy in that arena was electric.
Devin Booker, this guy was unstoppable. 47 points, his season high, plus 11 assists, 6 rebounds. It was like watching a man possessed.
Possessed by the spirit of buckets, that's for sure. But it wasn't just the volume of his scoring, it was the way he was doing it. So smooth, so efficient.
Oh yeah, those step-back jumpers, they were falling like rain.
But here's the thing. Even with Booker going supernova, the Jazz almost stole this one. Remember, the Suns had a comfortable lead going into the fourth.
13 points. I was already mentally celebrating, I'm not gonna lie.
And that's what makes the NBA so great, right?
Yeah.
You can never truly count a team out, no matter the score.
And then with just .8 seconds left on the clock, Grayson Allen, this guy, drains a three-pointer to tie the game.
I swear the collective gasp from the crowd, you could feel it through the TV screen.
My jaw hit the floor. Clutch doesn't even begin to describe it.
And he wasn't done. He hits another huge E3 in overtime to help the Suns seal the deal.
It was like he was playing with house money at that point, just fearless.
It makes you wonder, is this the Grayson Allen we're going to see from now on? The guy who shows up in big moments?
Because if so, the Jazz have a serious weapon on their hands.
No doubt about it. Now, ultimately, it was a big win for the Suns, snapped a 3-game losing streak.
But it also showed that they're not invincible, that they can be pushed to the limit.
Exactly. It'll be interesting to see how they respond going forward if this win gives them the momentum they need to get back on track.
Okay, let's shift gears and talk about a team that's been defying expectations all season. The Oklahoma City Thunder. They took down the Toronto Raptors 121-109.
Now, that score might not scream upset, but let me tell you, the way they played, it was a clinic.
A masterclass in how to play team basketball, I'd say.
Jalen Williams, he's been quietly putting together a fantastic season, and this game was no exception. 24 points, 7 assists. He was making plays all over the court.
Yeah, he's starting to look like a legit star, I gotta say. And then, of course, we gotta talk about Chet Holmgren making his long-awaited return from injury.
I was so pumped to see him back out there, even if it was just for 22 minutes.
Right, and even with limited minutes, he still made an impact. 4 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 blocks. That's efficiency, folks.
He's just got a knack for impacting the game on both ends of the floor. But what really stood out to me in this game was the Thunder's defense.
Oh yeah, they were locked in.
They held the Raptors, a team that can put up points in a hurry, to just 47 points by halftime.
That's not just good defense, that's suffocating.
And it wasn't just one guy shutting everyone down. It was a collective effort. Guys rotating, communicating, helping each other out.
Coach Daniel, he's got them playing a system, and it's working.
It's beautiful to watch. They say defense wins championships, and if that's true, the Thunder, they're building something special.
All right, next up, we've got an upset alert. The Atlanta Hawks took down the Milwaukee Bucks 115-110.
Nobody, and I mean nobody, saw that one coming.
I'll admit, I was shocked. The Hawks were down by 21 points at one point.
I thought it was over, I'm not going to lie.
Me too. But they just kept fighting, chipping away at that lead.
Talk about resilience. They could have easily folded, but they just kept coming.
And Trae Young, he was Trae Young, 24 points, 7 assists. But it wasn't just about his scoring, it was his leadership, his playmaking.
He was making the right reads, getting his teammates involved, dictating the pace of the game. It was a mature performance.
He really stepped up in a big way. Now, we gotta acknowledge the elephant in the room. Giannis Antetokounmpo was out for the Bucks.
You can't underestimate his absence. I mean, the guy is a walking double-double.
So how much of an impact did his absence have on this game?
Oh, it's huge. Not just his scoring and rebounding, but his presence on the court, the way he draws so much attention from the defense. It opens things up for everyone else. Without him, the Bucks just weren't the same.
So what does this win mean for the Hawks? They've been a bit inconsistent this season.
This win shows they have the potential to beat anyone when they're clicking.
It's a big confidence booster for sure.
They're a tough team to defend when Trae Young is playing like that.
Yeah.
And their role players are hitting shots. It'll be interesting to see if they can build in this win and find some consistency.
All right, the Brooklyn Nets took down the Miami Heat 102-86. Not the most exciting scoreline, but this game, it had layers.
Oh, yeah. There was a lot going on beneath the surface.
First off, it wasn't Kevin Durant or Kyrie Irving leading the way for the Nets. Cam Johnson led with 18 points. D'Angelo Russell had 17.
It was a statement game for those guys, showing they can step up when needed.
Exactly. And on the other side, the Heat, they looked off.
A little out of sync, you could say.
86 points. That's not the Miami Heat we're used to seeing.
And it's no coincidence that this was their first game without Jimmy Butler, who, as you know, was recently traded.
Right, so how much of their struggles can we attribute to his absence?
I think it's a significant factor.
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler, he's not just a scorer. He's a leader, a defensive anchor, a guy who elevates everyone around him.
He's the heart and soul of that team.
Without him, they're going to have to figure out a new identity, a new way to play. It'll be fascinating to see how they adjust.
Okay, we've saved the biggest prize for last. The Detroit Pistons, they absolutely demolished the Philadelphia 76ers, 125-112. I'm still processing this one.
I think we all are. This is a statement win, no doubt about it.
Malik Beasley, this guy was on fire. 36 points. He was hitting shots from everywhere.
He was in the zone. There's no other way to put it. But it wasn't just him. The entire Pistons team, they were playing with a level of energy and intensity that we haven't seen from them in a long time.
They were up by 34 points at halftime.
34. It was like they were playing a different sport.
So what does this tell us about the Pistons? Are they finally turning a corner?
It's too early to say for sure, but this win, it has to give them a huge boost of confidence. If they can build on this, play with the same level of intensity and execution, they could be a dangerous team down the stretch.
All right, we've covered a lot of ground here, but we're just getting started. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to delve even deeper into these games.
We'll be breaking down the tactical nuances, the key matchups, and what it all means for the rest of the season.
So grab a snack, refill your drink, and get ready for round 2. Okay, we're back. And you know what? After that break, I'm even more fired up to break down these games.
Me too. There's so much to unpack.
Let's jump back to that Phoenix-Utah game. Devin Booker, he was the star of the show, no doubt.
Oh, yeah, he put on a clinic.
But even in a loss, the Jazz, they showed some real grit. They didn't just roll over.
They made adjustments. They fought back. They made the Suns work for every basket.
Especially in that second half, they really started to throw different looks at Booker, trying to disrupt his rhythm.
Double teams, traps. They were throwing the kitchen sink at him.
And it worked to an extent. The Suns' offense, it definitely sputtered at times.
It shows you that even the best players, they can be contained, at least partially, if you have a good game plan.
And the Jazz, they're still a team that's finding its identity, but that resilience, that's something to build on.
Absolutely. Speaking of teams building something special, we got to give some love to the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Oh, yeah, they're the real deal.
That win over the Raptors, it was a statement.
They're not just winning games, they're winning with style.
And their defense, it's a thing of beauty. Remember that first half? They held the Raptors to just 47 points.
It was like watching a masterclass in defensive rotations. Everyone was on the same page.
Switching seamlessly on screens, closing out on shooters. It was textbook.
And Chet Holmgren, even though he's not playing big minutes yet, his presence alone makes a difference.
Oh, yeah, he's a game changer. Opposing players, they think twice about driving to the basket when he's lurking down there.
Okay, the Hawks, that comeback win against the Bucks, even without Giannis, it was something else.
It was inspiring, the way they just kept fighting, never gave up.
Trae Young, he was the catalyst, no doubt, but it was a team effort. Everyone contributed.
DeAndre Hunter, he had a big game, hitting shots, playing tough defense.
He's becoming such a complete player, it's scary.
And Coach McMillan, he deserves some credit too. He made some key adjustments in the second half, especially on defense.
Yeah, they really seem to figure out how to slow down the Bucks in those final 2 quarters.
Now, the Nets beating the Heat, it wasn't the most thrilling game, but it did raise some interesting questions.
Yeah, about both teams, really.
For the Nets, it was encouraging to see them win without Durant and Irving carrying the load.
Cam Johnson and D'Angelo Russell, they stepped up big time.
But the question is, can they do that consistently? Are they ready to be that reliable second scoring option?
Only time will tell. And then there's the Heat, struggling without Jimmy Butler.
It's just one game, but you can't deny his absence was felt.
86 points, that's just not Heat basketball.
They looked lost on offense. Their defense lacked its usual intensity.
It's going to take some time for them to adjust, to figure out how to play without their leader.
All right, we got to talk about the Pistons dismantling the Sixers. I still can't believe it happened.
I know, it was like watching a different team out there.
Malik Beasley, that guy was unconscious. 36 points. It was like everything he threw up went in.
And the Pistons as a whole, they were moving the ball, finding the open man, playing with a swagger.
It was fun to watch. They were playing with joy, with confidence, and that can be contagious.
So is this the start of something special for the Pistons? Are they finally turning the corner?
It's too early to say, but this win, it's a sign that they're capable of great things. They have the talent, they have the coaching. Now it's about putting it all together consistently.
All right, we've talked a lot about individual players and teams, but I think it's important to zoom out and look at the bigger picture.
The forest for the trees, as they say.
Exactly. These games, they're not just isolated events. They're all part of a larger narrative that's unfolding across the NBA.
Each win, each loss, it all contributes to the storylines that are going to shape the rest of the season.
So what are some of the big takeaways you're seeing emerge from these games?
Well, first off, I think it's clear that the league is more competitive than ever. There are no easy wins anymore. Any team can beat any other team on any given night.
Which makes it so exciting to watch.
Absolutely. And I think it's also a testament to the depth of talent across the league. We've got young stars emerging, veterans proving they still have it, and role players stepping up in big moments.
And all of that makes for a season that's full of surprises and unpredictable twists and turns.
We're only a few months into the season, and already we've seen so many incredible moments.
And the best part is, we're just getting started. There's so much more basketball left to play, so many more stories to unfold.
And we'll be here every step of the way, breaking it all down for you.
So buckle up, because this NBA season, it's going to be a wild ride. We've talked about individual games, we've zoomed in on those highlight moments, but now I kind of want to take a step back, look at the bigger picture.
Yeah, what do these games tell us about the league as a whole? Where are things headed?
Exactly. Like, take the Oklahoma City Thunder, right? They're not a championship team, not yet at least.
But man, are they exciting to watch.
That win against the Raptors, it felt like more than just a win, like a real turning point.
Yeah, I see what you mean. For years, they've been all about the future, building through the draft.
But this season, it feels like the future is arriving, like right now.
Definitely. Shai, Giddey, Jalen Williams, Chet, they're all legit.
And they're not just relying on talent alone. They're playing a system. They're playing smart.
Coach Daniel, he's got them playing a beautiful brand of basketball, unselfish, high energy, defensively sound.
It's sustainable, it's exciting, and frankly, it's kind of scary for the rest of the league.
The scary part is they're only going to get better. Now, on the other side of the spectrum, you've got a team like the Miami Heat.
Yeah, their loss to the Nets, the Jimmy Butler trade, it feels like the end of an era.
A changing of the guard for sure. But hey, got to give them credit. The Heat, they've always been adaptable.
Always willing to make those tough decisions, to shake things up.
But yeah, losing a player like Jimmy Butler, that's a huge blow. No way around it.
He was their leader, their heart and soul. They're going to need some time to figure things out without him.
No doubt. But who knows, maybe this is the spark they need, a chance to rebuild around Bam and Tyler Herro.
And speaking of shaking things up, did anyone predict the Detroit Pistons absolutely dismantling the Philadelphia 76ers?
Not a chance. That was a shocker, a real statement game for the Pistons.
Malik Beasley? That guy was on another planet. 36 points. Are you kidding me?
I mean, we all knew he could score, but that was special. Maybe this is the game that unlocks his full potential.
It really felt like a coming out party for him, like he finally realized just how good he can be.
And it wasn't just him. The entire Pistons team, they were playing with a level of intensity, a swagger, that I haven't seen from them in years.
Maybe, just maybe, this is the start of something special in Detroit. But hey, that's the beauty of the NBA, right?
Absolutely. Anything can happen on any given night.
You've got young teams on the rise, veteran teams retooling, and a whole lot of parity across the league.
It makes for a season that's unpredictable, exciting, and just plain fun to watch.
So as we wrap things up, I want to leave you with this thought. What surprised you the most this week? What storylines are you most intrigued by?
Because the NBA, it's a constantly evolving story, full of twists and turns.
And we'll be here every step of the way, breaking it all down, helping you make sense of the chaos. So until next time, keep watching, keep learning, and keep that basketball love burning bright.